Sean Callahan here in Boca Raton at the Florida Atlantic Satellite Camp. We're joined by Nebraska defensive coordinator Erik Chinander. Coach, it's got to be fun being back here in Florida. You guys, the last 2 years, have just established some credibility in the state. What's it like kind of getting back down here?
Well, it's good seeing a lot of these kids that we recruited when we were at UCF, and now obviously since we're at Nebraska, there's a big-time interest from all these kids and coaches, and they want to know what it's like up there, and we're telling them how great of a place it is, and we just got to get them up there to see it in person. But it's great being back here.
As the defensive coordinator at an event like this, what are you looking at? I mean, are you looking all defensive guys, or do you even kind of tip your toe on the offensive side a little bit since you only have 4 coaches down here?
No, we're helping each other out. I think everybody's splitting up. I went and looked at some O&D linemen since the O&D line coaches are back on campus, and the skill guys we're watching. And then this second session, I'll be looking at some receivers and DBs also. So,
just the talent down here in general. Speak to the level when you go around the country. How does South Florida, this area, stack up to all the other places you go?
Well, I think there's certainly a few hotbeds in the country right now, and South Florida is as good as any of them, I think. And I really enjoy the kids down here. They love football, they love playing the game, and they do it the right way. So I think the talent's good and the attitude's good down here.
When you look at getting Florida kids to Nebraska, what's a realistic number of guys per year you can kind of shoot for to get up in a class?
I think anytime you go that far away from home, it just has to be the right kid. So I don't think you put a number on it, but as long as they're the right kids, you can take as many as you want from anywhere. If it's 10 from Florida, great. If it's 2 from Florida, great. We just have to make sure they're the right kid for Nebraska.
How much do people still ask you about your team last year, even down here now, just what you guys did, and how much does that get kids' attention to say, you know what, I want to maybe check out Nebraska because of what happened at UCF?
Well, I think a lot of these kids were around since it was so easy to get on our campus, but the coaches and the kids all know the staff, and that's the most important thing. They're like, Coach, I loved your staff at UCF. Now I want to see what you're going to do at Nebraska. So the connections are big, and it's just big being around these guys again.
I got to ask you, too, about the state of Iowa. You're from Iowa. You played at Iowa. We've seen Nebraska. I know you can't talk about specific names, but we've seen Nebraska, or kids report Iowa offers more than ever before. How big is that for you to try to get Nebraska more into the state of Iowa?
Oh, I think, like Coach Frost talks about when he was playing, I think you have to be able to get a couple kids out of Iowa. You have to be able to get kids out of St. Louis, Missouri, Minnesota, the Dakotas. You have to be able to go in and get some of those guys. We're not going to take 1 million from Iowa, but we're going to take the right ones, just like the right ones from down here. So I think it's very important for us.
And you're offering young guys, I mean, the 20s and the 21s. I mean, how do you, I mean, just with your knowledge, how many advantages do you have just kind of maybe finding out about some of these kids?
I think I got a big-time advantage. The coaches know me. A lot of the players that we're recruiting right now, I know their parents. So I think we have an advantage with these young kids coming in, and I think you got to recruit these guys young, especially if you know they're great players.
You look at your defense now coming back. A lot of the newcomers have arrived on campus. What excites you about maybe some of the new pieces that you'll be adding to what you already have?
Well, we've been out doing camps and stuff, so I haven't seen those guys live yet, but I'm excited about these young kids. I'm excited about some of the walk-ons. Some of those guys look tremendous, and I know a couple of them had a great Shrine game, but some of these newcomers are going to play for us, and we're going to play the best guys no matter what always, but I'm excited about this group.
You've added a couple of transfer guys and whatnot. I mean, when you look to add guys like that, what exactly are you looking for when maybe it's a 1-year or 2-year type situation?
You know, sometimes you're looking for everything. Sometimes you're looking to improve depth. Sometimes you need to fill a position immediately. Sometimes you want help in the room to just get the maturity level up or the attitude in the room. Sometimes you want to push the rest of the guys in the room, make everybody else compete a little bit more because there's a new guy in town. But transfers are important if you can find the right ones again.
As you look at just your defense overall, what do you like the most about kind of what you have right now? Is there an overall strength in your eyes as you kind of sit here in June?
You know, I think what excites me most is what we haven't seen yet. We're growing. The kids are growing up in the defense. We're growing. Their attitude's getting better and better all the time. They're getting more confident in the scheme and themselves. So I think I'm just excited about what we haven't seen yet.
Coach, it was great seeing you here down in Florida.
Great to see you. Thank you.